Season's very uncertain for the entire league in general, but you're a free agent for the first time. Have you thought about what free agency might look like for you if you'd like to be back?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a restricted free agent, so I think that changes things a little bit, but I've loved my years here in Indiana. So obviously with a lot of uncertainty, you don't know what's to come, but I've built a life here, and I love this franchise. I love the people, I love the fans, so we'll see what comes. Elliot?
Caitlin Clark just broke down in front of cameras, struggling to hold it together as she said goodbye to her closest teammate, Lexie Hull. This wasn't just another farewell interview. It was raw, emotional, and left Indiana Fever fans in tears.
Hey, you know, it's sad. I think, especially when you push a game to overtime and you fight for so long, your expectations are to win, obviously, and so to lose is sad, but I think arm in arm, all of us together, we can look at each other and be proud of each other. So it's a moment of love for sure.
But behind that moment lies a story most people missed. A story about loyalty, chaos, and what happens when friendship gets caught in the middle of a franchise falling apart.
It's just sad to see this group be done.
Coach was saying this.
Lexie Hull's exit hit harder than anyone expected. She wasn't just another player. She was Caitlin Clark's anchor, the teammate who had her back through a season filled with injuries, controversy, and crushing losses. When Lexie spoke about free agency, her words were careful, but her tone said everything. "There's a lot of uncertainty," she said softly. "We'll see what comes."
Yeah, I mean, I'm a restricted free agent, so I think that changes things a little bit, but I've loved my years here in Indiana. So obviously with a lot of uncertainty, you don't know what's to come, but I've built a life here, and I love this franchise. I love the people, I love the fans, so we'll see what comes.
That's athlete code for "I'm leaving," and she did. Lexie officially walked away from the Indiana Fever, and her emotional goodbye sent shockwaves through the WNBA community. Because for Caitlin Clark, this wasn't just losing a teammate, it was losing one of the only people she truly trusted in that locker room. The Fever's season was chaos from start to finish. Rotations changed weekly, roles shifted overnight, and the noise around Caitlin Clark was deafening. Through it all, Lexie was the quiet constant, diving for loose balls, switching positions, and adapting to anything thrown her way. She kept things stable when everything else was falling apart. But that adaptability came at a cost. In her final interview, Lexie sounded exhausted, emotionally drained from having to reinvent herself game after game. She praised her teammates and the fans, but never once mentioned the front office. That silence spoke louder than any words could. She loved Indiana, but not the instability surrounding it. Then came her next move, joining Unrivaled, the new off-season league led by Brianna Stewart and Nafisa Collier. It was more than a side project, it was a statement. Lexie wanted control, stability, and respect. Things she wasn't getting in Indiana. She'd seen enough of how uncertain the WNBA landscape had become. Between talk of a possible lockout, the ongoing CBA negotiations, and inconsistent management decisions, Lexie wanted a future she could count on. Still, her respect for Caitlin never wavered. When asked about her rookie teammate, Lexie's voice cracked slightly. She said watching Caitlin struggle with injuries was really hard, and that she was proud of how the team fought for those who couldn't play.
Lexie, what was it like for you to see your bestie Caitlin struggle throughout the season and just all the time that she had to invest in the training room and all that treatment, and then ultimately unable to get back?
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard. I think when you have someone that's so competitive and really so much of what brings them joy is being out on the court and fighting and winning games and competing, and seeing her just struggle not to be able to get back to that place this season, it's really hard. And you don't want that for anybody. You don't want that especially for someone that you know that our team counts on, our fans want to see, you know them personally want to be out there, so it's just really hard. But I think at the end of the day, just really proud of her ability to continue to show up. It's not easy to come in before we leave for a flight and get a workout in and show up and just continue to be a positive energy. So just proud of her from that aspect. And I know she's going to come back stronger than ever with a little bit more hunger than I think she's ever had.
That subtle line, for the people who couldn't be out there, hit every Fever fan right in the chest. Because Lexie wasn't just leaving a team, she was leaving a bond. On and off the court, she and Caitlin were inseparable. They practiced together, shared interviews, and were often the last two standing after another painful loss. When Clark was double-teamed, Lexie was the one cutting, screening, or bailing her out. When Clark faced the media after tough losses, Lexie sat beside her, quiet but steady. Now that support system is gone, and for a 23-year-old superstar already carrying the weight of an entire league, that's devastating. You could feel the pain in Caitlin's voice during her farewell comments. She tried to keep it together, but her emotions got the best of her. For her, Lexie wasn't just a teammate. She was family. The one person who truly understood what it felt like to be under a microscope every single day. Caitlin has always been known for her fire, her confidence, and her ability to block out the noise. But this moment broke that image. You could see the tears, the frustration, and the exhaustion. She's realizing that being the face of a franchise doesn't mean much if you're standing alone. Lexie Hull's departure is a warning sign for the Fever organization. If someone as loyal and hardworking as Lexie walks away, it means morale inside that locker room is dangerously low. She wasn't running from the challenge, she was tired of chaos. But here's the twist. This heartbreak might be exactly what Caitlin Clark needs to evolve. Without Lexie, there's no safety net, no quiet anchor, no one to soften the spotlight or steady the noise. She'll have to lead, not as a rookie phenom, but as the face of a franchise in flux. The pressure will be brutal. Every move she makes will be dissected. Every teammate relationship will be compared to what she had with Lexie. And you know what's coming next. The narrative that nobody wants to play with Caitlin Clark. The second Lexie signs somewhere else, social media will explode with takes and half-truths. But maybe this is her turning point. We've seen Clark's attitude before. The same intense fire that made her a college legend. Now, she'll have to channel that into leadership. She'll need to build new chemistry from scratch, earn trust from teammates who might not yet believe in the vision, and prove she's not just a highlight reel. She's a builder of culture. Still, this goodbye hurts. The fans felt it, the locker room felt it, and Caitlin Clark definitely felt it. Because this wasn't just the end of a season, it was the end of a chapter that never got the chance to fully bloom. Lexie Hull's departure leaves a void that no draft pick or free agent can easily fill. She wasn't the top scorer or the face of the team, but she was the heartbeat. And now, Caitlin Clark must find a new rhythm without her closest ally. The Fever's front office needs to act fast. They can't afford another year of instability. If Caitlin's going to lead, she needs a team around her that's consistent, loyal, and ready to grow. Otherwise, next season could turn ugly fast. Because no matter how bright one star shines, she can't hold up an entire galaxy on her own. But knowing Caitlin Clark, this pain will fuel her. Every criticism, every doubt, every tear shed in that goodbye will be stored away for the moment she steps back on the court. She's been underestimated before, and every single time she's turned heartbreak into history. This time won't be any different. If you're still watching, drop "Goodbye Lexie" in the comments to show you were part of this emotional moment. Because this wasn't just a farewell between teammates. It was the start of Caitlin Clark's next chapter, one that begins not with a highlight, but with heartbreak, and maybe, just maybe, the rise of a true leader.
I've been saying it for years. I keep telling everybody she's the Steph Curry of women's basketball, college or pro. She is a superstar.
Up in time, Clark for the win! Yeah!
She put women's basketball on the international map. She shot jump shots from the logo. She went Steph Curry on women's college basketball.
She going for history!
From snide comments to full-blown rivalries, Caitlin Clark has faced more hate in one rookie season than most players see in a lifetime. But what if we told you there are 7 distinct levels to it, each one more ruthless than the last? This isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about envy, power, and what happens when one player threatens to change an entire league. Because every shove, every quote, and every headline tells the same story. How Caitlin Clark became the most talked about, loved, and hated player in women's basketball. Level 1, the casual doubters.
Your only argument for Caitlin is that it would have been a great marketing opportunity, and you don't have basketball experience or chemistry with the group listed in your reasoning. I don't want to hear it.
Stephen A., I could actually argue that it hurts the game more if they had given her a roster spot over someone more deserving. Because I think it makes a mockery of the women's game. If the focus on, now we just have to have people because of marketing and their intention, and they're not as talented, we're not putting the best team out there.
Before she even played her first WNBA game, critics said her college game wouldn't translate. Pundits claimed her long-range threes would be useless against faster defenders and stronger players. When Clark debuted with the Indiana Fever in May 2024, social media was flooded with comments like, "She'll get humbled quick." But just weeks later, Clark shattered those expectations, becoming the fastest rookie in WNBA history to reach 200 assists and 300 points. The casual doubters didn't hate her because of who she was. They hated how fast she proved them wrong. Level 2, the eye rollers.
Levels to this thing, and that's just life. We all went through it.
Of course.
And you see it on the NBA side, and you're going to see it on this side, where, you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time.
Then came the veterans who didn't openly attack her, but made sure to downplay her rise. Players like Diana Taurasi warned that the reality of the WNBA would hit her hard. Others echoed that Clark needed to earn respect first. Even broadcasters threw shade, saying she was getting too much attention too soon. What these comments really revealed was discomfort. Clark wasn't just bringing eyes to the league, she was rewriting its hierarchy overnight. Every highlight, every sold-out arena, every ESPN headline reminded the veterans that the WNBA now revolved around a rookie. Level 3, the gatekeepers.
This isn't just for Caitlin, but you asked me about Caitlin. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that that player set it.
Okay. Now we enter the realm of direct hostility. Cheryl Swoops, one of the league's original icons, became the face of this level when she claimed that Clark's stats were inaccurate and that she was being protected by the refs. Her comments ignited a firestorm. Fans accused Swoops of jealousy. Even ESPN hosts like Stephen A. Smith stepped in, calling out the hypocrisy, saying Clark's fame wasn't handed to her, it was earned through performance. Swoops later walked back her remarks, but by then, the damage was done. A clear line had been drawn, the old guard versus the new era. Level 4, the enforcers.
Here's Clark for 29 points, gets tripped up.
This is where the hate turned physical. During a Fever versus Chicago Sky game in June 2024, Chennedy Carter delivered one of the most infamous hits of the season, a blindside body check that sent Clark crashing to the floor. It wasn't a basketball play, it was a statement.
Kennedy Carter now with 12 points off the bench. And Clark. I mean, that's clearly a foul, which was called. The question is, will they call it unnecessary? Kennedy Carter, it happened prior to the inbound. So then anybody can shoot the free throw.
Carter doubled down afterward, refusing to apologize. Her teammate, Dejonai Carrington, mocked Clark online, tweeting, "Beside every flop is a camera." Fans and analysts exploded, with ESPN and social media accusing the WNBA of allowing targeted aggression. The Fever's coach, Stephanie White, called it unacceptable, while other players quietly admitted that Clark was being treated differently. This level was pure intimidation, trying to humble her through pain. Level 5, the rival queens.
People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, like just because of one single game. And just looking at that, like, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Enter Angel Reese, Clark's most famous rival. Their rivalry began in college when Reese taunted Clark in the 2023 NCAA championship, a gesture that instantly went viral. Fast forward to the WNBA and every Fever versus. Sky Game became must-watch TV. Reese and Clark embodied opposite energies. Clark, the quiet assassin. Reese, the vocal powerhouse. Reese's post-game interviews added fuel with lines like, "I'm living rent-free."
I just hope y'all know the WNBA don't pay my bills at all. I don't even think that pays one of my bills. Literally. I'm trying to think of like my rent for where I stay at. I'm gonna do the math real quick.
It might cover that. Yeah, it
Isn't
covers
it,
that. It definitely covers that.
What is my, I don't even know my salary. 74? Okay. Times.
Here, I'll do it.
Yeah. I don't even know my salary. Does it? Let me see. You don't even. Yo! I'm living beyond my means. It's like.
Yet behind the theatrics was real competition. Reese fought to prove that her dominance wasn't overshadowed by Clark's fame. Their rivalry pulled record-breaking TV ratings, proving that even hate can drive the league's growth. Level 6, the power players.
If you've only played 540 minutes of basketball, and of those 540, 74 have been against Caitlin, you only got 2 flagrants, and they happen to be against Caitlin. I don't think it's coincidence.
Now the hate shifts from individuals to institutions. Throughout Clark's rookie season, referees faced scrutiny for inconsistent officiating. Data showed that Clark absorbed more flagrant fouls than any other rookie, but rarely received calls in her favor. Even Kathy Engelbert, the WNBA commissioner, faced criticism for using Clark for publicity while failing to protect her. When Clark was left off the Team USA roster for the 2024 Olympics, it sparked national outrage.
Some of us felt like maybe she hadn't proved it in the WNBA, but at this point, she certainly has. So she proved everybody wrong.
What about the guards? Let's talk about the guards that did make it. Talk about the guards that did make it. How they play, Andrea? Because you were one of the ones that say she didn't earn it. How did the guards play that within the Olympics? How did they play?
For sure, but we can't take how Caitlin finished the W season and pivot that to how she would have done in the Olympics. That's a completely different
All I'm
argument.
saying is, look at that point. Look at how she played up until that point. Chelsea Gray had only played 1 game before she went to the Olympics. She was outplaying Diana Taurasi. Was she outplaying Diana Taurasi at that point in time that she was on the team? It's a simple yes or a simple no.
Was Caitlin outplaying Diana Taurasi? But you can't just factor in current play, Shannon. That's all I'm saying. You gotta factor in.
Many saw it as the establishment's quiet resistance, a message that fame doesn't buy access to power. Clark stayed silent, saying only, "I'll be cheering them on," but her absence spoke volumes. The league's biggest star was watching from home. Level 7, the Alpha Challenger. Finally, we reached the top. Aja Wilson, the reigning MVP, the face of the Las Vegas Aces, and the symbol of the WNBA's old guard. Wilson's comments about privilege and spotlight during Clark's rise stirred debate. She never mentioned Clark by name, but everyone knew who she meant.
She had this to say about Caitlin Clark, who makes her debut tonight. She said this: Aja Wilson thinks that Caitlin Clark is only popular because she's white. I think it's a huge thing. I think a lot of people say it's not about black and white, but to me, it is. It's really because you can be the top notch at what you do as a black woman, but maybe there's something that people don't want to see, Wilson said to the Associated Press.
When the Fever faced the Aces, Wilson dominated, yet cameras still focused on Clark. That imbalance fueled resentment. Wilson represents the one figure Clark has yet to surpass, the standard of greatness she threatens to replace. But here's the twist. Their rivalry isn't built on hate alone. It's about legacy. Wilson wants to prove her era isn't over. Clark wants to show hers has begun. And that's what makes level 7 the most powerful form of hate. Respect disguised as resistance. From casual doubt to calculated rivalry, Caitlin Clark's journey through these 7 levels of hate reveals something bigger than basketball. Every shove, every comment, and every snub has built her legend piece by piece. She's been labeled overrated, targeted on the court, mocked by peers, and left out of the biggest stage in the world. But every time she's answered with performance, breaking rookie scoring records, hitting logo threes, and filling arenas that used to be half empty. This hate didn't break her, it branded her. Because the truth is, Caitlin Clark didn't just survive the hate, she used it. Every foul turned into a headline, every rivalry became a ratings boost, every critic turned into a stepping stone. And now, as her story keeps unfolding, one question remains. If this is what the league looks like when everyone hates Caitlin Clark, imagine what happens when they have to respect her. If you're still watching, drop Clark Level 7 in the comments. And tell us, which level of hate do you think went too far? Hit subscribe for more deep dives into the drama, rivalries, and power plays shaping the WNBA.
Great to be here with you guys today. Kathy Engelbert is cooked. Well done. Put her in the air fryer and forgot about her. Put her in the oven and left her in 30 minutes too long. Kathy Engelbert is cooked. She's finished. If there is a league for 2026, Kathy Engelbert's not going to be in charge of that league.
Shocking. Referees caught red-handed taking bribes before the Indiana Fever versus Las Vegas Aces semifinal. Fans are furious, players are outraged, and the WNBA may never recover from this scandal.
Let's talk about what may be a real pivot point in the history of the WNBA, and I think what has transpired over the last 3 or 4 days may have gone a long way towards possibly helping Caitlin Clark in this league. Because the fact is, the WNBA, Kathy Engelbert, Adam Silver, the NBA, they weren't going to listen to Indiana Fever fans. They weren't going to listen to Caitlin Clark fans.
How did this even happen? And why does it feel like the game was rigged before the ball was even tipped? Let's break it down. From the moment this referee crew was announced, fans knew something was wrong. Isaac Barnett, Randy Richardson, and Jana were the exact same officials who botched the infamous Lynx versus Mercury game.
You know those really bad referees? You know those really bad referees from the Minnesota Lynx game against Phoenix Mercury? Not only have they been rewarded by getting another semifinal game, all 3 of them. All 3 of them. Not 1, not 2, but 3. The same exact crew are refereeing the Indiana Fever tonight. Less than 48 hours later, because this is an afternoon game.
That disaster left Nafessa Collier limping off the court, Cheryl Reeve suspended, and an entire fan base screaming corruption. And instead of accountability, the WNBA doubled down and handed the same 3 referees Caitlin Clark's biggest playoff test yet. That's not just reckless, it's malpractice. Fans didn't hold back. Social media exploded with the word corruption. One clip shows Cheryl Reeve saying it plain and simple. The officiating crew that we had tonight, for the leadership to deem those 3 people semifinal playoff worthy, is malpractice.
And this is the look that our league wants, for some reason. We were trying to play through it. We tried to make excuses. One of the best players in the league shot 0 free throws. 0. And she had 5 fouls. 0 free throws. Got her shoulder pulled out and finished the game with her leg being taken out and probably has a fracture. And so if this is what our league wants, okay. But I want to call for a change of leadership at the league level when it comes to officiating. It's bad for the game. The officiating crew that we had tonight, for the leadership to deem those three people semifinals playoff worthy is malpractice.
That's a head coach calling out the league's leadership on live television. And what was her reward? Suspension, fines, punishment for telling the truth.
The news just came out that Coach Cheryl Reeve was fined $15,000 for her comments made about the referees, and Coach Becky Hammond and Coach Steph White were both fined $1,000 for pretty much standing up for Coach Cheryl Reeve and saying that some of her points were valid. So it truly seems like Kathy is cracking down on this referee talk.
This isn't paranoia. It's a pattern. In that Lynx Mercury game, Alyssa Thomas hacked Collier over and over. 0 whistles. When Reeve demanded accountability, she was silenced.
But last night, Nafisi Collier got injured by Alyssa Thomas. Now, the irony in all this, Becky Hammond calling out the physicality in the league, Cheryl Reeve losing her ever-loving, and we'll look at that. I don't blame her. I'd have lost my mind too.
Now those same refs are in charge of the Fever Aces matchup, the one series that was supposed to showcase the league's biggest stars. Instead of Clark versus Wilson, Boston versus Wilson, and Mitchell against Young, the storyline is referees and bribes.
But anyway, yeah, WNBA assigned to 3 officials it's awful. It's a bad look on the league. And I mean, I think we have even more, I'm not going to say like proof, but I think there is now a situation where it's not out of realm possibility with this blatant, like something this bad, it's not out of realm possibility that Kathy's sabotaging this league.
Look at the numbers. In the Mercury game, Minnesota had a 10-rebound advantage and still lost. Why? Because the refs swallowed their whistles every time Phoenix got physical. Alyssa Thomas stripped Collier across the body, clear contact, and somehow it was called clean. Collier limped off, fans saw it, and officials just walked away. Now those exact same officials are responsible for Clark and Boston's health in the postseason. Fans aren't imagining things. They know exactly what's happening. And here's where the outrage explodes. Kelsey Mitchell drives into contact all season and gets nothing. Meanwhile, Jackie Young breathes near the rim and gets free throws. Aaliyah Boston gets elbowed in the paint, called for fouls herself, while Aja Wilson bulldozes defenders untouched. And then there's Caitlin Clark, the league's biggest draw. She's been shoved, tripped, elbowed, even body-checked like it's hockey. 0 protection. Fans don't just see it, they document it. They post clips, they tag the league, and every time the referees look the other way. One fan summed it up. The WNBA says they want to grow the game, then assigns the most hated refs to the biggest matchup. That's not growth. That's self-sabotage.
You cannot say anything about the referees, which I actually think is ironic. Why wouldn't they spend more time investing in the referees and trying to get them better instead of cracking down so hard on anybody saying anything about them? It's wild.
But the corruption goes deeper. The Aces are the league's golden child. Vegas is the money market. The glitz, the ownership, the star power. The league wants them in the finals. Everyone knows it. So when the same crew that already saved Vegas with swallowed whistles is assigned again, it doesn't look like coincidence. It looks like favoritism. And favoritism destroys trust. Think about the consequences. If the Fever lose on phantom fouls or no calls, fans won't forgive it. Every whistle will be scrutinized. Every time Clark gets hit and no call, fans scream conspiracy. Every time Wilson gets a soft whistle, outrage explodes. And that's the toxic environment the WNBA created. Let's talk specifics. Isaac Barnett is notorious for handing out quick technicals. If Clark claps her hands after a missed call, tech. If Stephanie White protests too strongly, tech. Meanwhile, Wilson bulldozes Boston in the post, no whistle. Randy Richardson is chaos incarnate. One possession he calls touch fouls, the next it's WWE wrestling. No rhythm, no consistency. And Jana, fans literally call her invisible, disappearing when games get physical. That's the crew managing the semifinals. This isn't just incompetence, It feels like corruption. Because when the same referees keep appearing in the biggest games, making the same mistakes, punishing the same players, protecting the same stars, fans stop believing. And once fans stop believing, they stop watching. Sponsors stop paying. And the league's credibility evaporates. The Fever fought all season to make it here. Boston carried the paint. Mitchell played through fire. Lexie Hull battled through injury. And Clark sold out arenas every night. The reward, being thrown in front of the same refs who already embarrassed the sport. That's why fans are saying it feels like a setup. That's why words like bribery and rigged are trending. Because the WNBA had a chance to showcase greatness, and instead, the refs stole the spotlight. Cheryl Reeve warned everyone, when you let the physicality happen, people get hurt. There are fights. And this is the look our league wants.
How dangerous it can be. You're hearing it from the other series. You're hearing other coaches. You're hearing Becky talk about when you let the physicality happen, people get hurt. There's fights. And this is the look that our league wants for some reason.
That's not an outsider talking. That's one of the most respected coaches in women's basketball. She called it dangerous. She called it malpractice, and for speaking the truth, she was punished. That tells fans everything they need to know. The betrayal is staggering. The WNBA has spent the entire season running commercials begging fans to embrace the next generation. Clark, Boston, Reese, the rookies driving record ratings. And when the playoffs arrive, what does the league do? Assigns the very refs fans despise. Instead of showcasing competition, they showcase corruption. And the irony is brutal. Caitlin Clark is the league's cash cow. She sells jerseys, fills arenas, shatters TV ratings. She puts money directly into the league's pockets. Yet instead of protecting her, they've set her up to get hammered with no calls. That's not just incompetence, that's biting the hand that feeds you. Fans aren't stupid. They don't demand special treatment. They demand fairness. They want to see stars shine, not refs dictate outcomes. And right now, instead of talking strategy and matchups, fans are debating bribes and favoritism. Instead of hyping Clark versus Wilson, they're asking if the game was rigged before it started. And that's the core problem. Once fans believe the league is rigged, you've lost them. No marketing campaign can fix that. No highlight reel can erase it. Credibility is everything. Without it, every game feels tainted. The Fever versus Aces could have been the series of the year. Instead, the headline is referees caught taking bribes. And until the WNBA addresses this crisis, every whistle will be questioned, every foul debated, every outcome doubted. So what do you think? Is this pure incompetence, or was the game rigged from the start? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you're still watching, drop Protect Caitlin so we know you're part of the real conversation.